Welcome, A Train, all aboard tourism fans, to A Train, all aboard tourism with Dominius Prime. Episode 5, Tradeport and Beyond. It's prime time for Professor Prime. Here we are in Seaside, and as you can see, I have already placed my trade port exactly where I want to put it, where it begins on the left side of the material warehouse, and the right side ends up flush with this small road right here. There were two tiles on each side of this trade port that I had bought up, and now I've sold them just to make a little bit of money back. Okay? So this is exactly where you want your trade port placed. And as you can see, my production facility show 10 per day still. If this would have been a little closer, it wouldn't. It would have a reduced output. Right now, this is only putting out 20 instead of 25 per day. I think once the trade port gets built, it kind of pops back up to full strength again. So here, let's take a quick look. As you can see, what I have done, you can see there's 3,060,000,000 for deferred asset depreciation. Um, Basically, it's really amortization because you amortize intangible assets and you depreciate fixed assets, those you can touch. Okay, but I think they wanted to keep it, simple here for those who aren't accountants. Now, when I started this research project the day before, um, the 15,300,000,000 cost shows up here under deferred assets. Now, there's some really kind of strange accounting going on here. Okay, and I'm in real life. I've been an accountant for over 40 years. Um, what you would have is, see, you would have the debit here for the deferred asset depreciation. Okay, so you would need an offsetting credit. Now, normally, what we would do is have an accumulated depreciation or accumulated amortization account that would be reduce the value of like buildings and the depreciable assets. Okay, so really this should be like about a little over 12,240,000,000. But one of the things we want to see is that it's a 5 year schedule. Okay, for depreciation, it's basically 5 year straight line. So this 2 billion is depreciation on a little over 10 billion in structures. Okay, and you can see the 3,060,000,000 is 1/5 of the 15,300,000,000 that it costs to get this running. So now, what do I have? I've got 9 more days to wait for supplementing staff. I'm way short on staff. The reason I wanted to start the trade port now, it doesn't take any staff. This is basically like going to go to the city. So we won't get any operating income from the city. Now, what else did I do? Since I had a lot of money, okay, back to the bank, I borrowed 7.5 billion. Okay, so that what I could do was not only build the trade port, but I could build the San Francisco line. So if we look out here, I've run the track. There's the San Francisco train. Okay, so we're starting to expand our trains. Now, I did do the increase vehicle expansion, so now I can have 40 trains and 40 buses and trucks. And I placed this one right here, number 3, because what I'm doing is this line is the inside line, so that's line 1. Line 2 is going to be the Monterey line, and now line 3 is basically the San Francisco line. Even though I'm not, going 1, 2, 3 in sequential order, I'm just kind of mixing it up here. I like the purple color for San Francisco, like Purple Haze, and the LSD days. So now let's see. So now that I'm increasing trains, and let's see, did I buy any security? Oh yeah, I think I showed you that I bought the Boundless Bank. Okay, and of course now that after I buy it, it starts going down in value. But I bought it at I think it was 25.50. So it's still been going up and down and stuff. So now what I've got to do is, oh yeah, let me show you this. This is a slick trick here, okay? Yesterday I started this at like 9:30 when the vehicle expansion ended. After 20 days, I put in the trade port. Now it says it'll take 140 days. No, it will not, because I have this material warehouses here. It's going to now take about 26 days. Does it show me 6 per day? Okay. So now required materials are 6 per day. Normally it would only build at 1 per day. But what's going to happen in about 26 to 27 days, this is going to be complete and ready to roll. So by having the materials here all ready to go, even though I'm selling to Oakland, I made sure to buy a couple of more material warehouses and stock up on materials, so that when I build this port, I can move materials to Oakland and build that port. Now let's just look at my trade. Now I'm selling materials again, but now I don't have any agriculture to sell in either Long Beach or Los Gatos. So now my ag trucks are taking a break here in Turlock. Okay, there we go. And then what I decided to do is, since they are already stopped, I'm just filling up these warehouses now and waiting for fall. I haven't done that yet over here, although I probably should go ahead and do that pretty soon. I still have, 30 left. And what am I producing? Let's see, 8 and 8 is 16, 24, 32. So I think what I am going to do is just go ahead and let's get another storage area in here. Now I've got some money. Okay, now I don't feel quite so... Okay, and I could, and let's just go for the gusto, and now I've got it all done. Okay. Now, if I don't deliver any agriculture from Salinas to Oakland, then I can start filling up these warehouses. And slowly but surely. Now, my next step is going to be, I want to build up more money, and then what I want to do is connect from Oakland through Seaside, and now down, and it'll actually be ramp number 5. So I'll actually build out 2 ramps to connect to Oakland. The 4 ramp is going to be, Seaside's going to connect to the 4 ramp. So it's a nice little maze that you have to figure out what connects to what. But I think that once you do, you'll really enjoy getting this all hooked up. So now what I'm going to do is run clock and then come back, and when the trade port gets built, there's a nice little surprise. So I want to make sure I show you the nice little surprise. Here it is, August 3rd. And before I jump into the big excitement for this segment, I want to show you that um, I had used a government subsidy for Ford Ord last month to buy. I built 3 residential buildings. Okay, and yes, I used the ground level train for Seaside to get 110 million for when I built the San Francisco line. I also built 2 apartment 4s, one in Monterey and one in Carmel a while back, maybe 2 months back. Um, Without doing government subsidies. So I got kind of lucky with the government subsidies there and used the one for the Fort Ord so that I could get a little bit of um, housing built and have more subsidiaries to flip. And of course, with only one staff, not running up my employee count, which I'm still behind. I'm up to I think a little over 200 employees, but I still need well over 400. As you can see, the trade port's going to come in one day. Okay, and I set this to build, just almost 4 weeks, not quite 4 weeks ago. So having the material factory next to the building site really helped. Now, what I want to do is, here we are. You can see the port is almost built. Okay. So now what I'm going to, you can see that truck's empty and there's no materials in the yard. It's 9 a.m. So I won't get materials until after 10 a.m. So yes, there will be some trucks doing dry runs. And if I take a quick look at my resources here, still got 30 left on Oakland. You can see now I've got all 5 routes running. Okay. The Oakland fish price is pretty good at 5,330,000 right now. To sell overseas, let's see, fishies only 4,780,000. So it depends. The pricing will be different for each area, and sometimes different areas offer different prices. So you'll be switching up loads from one place to another at times. So now, without further ado, let's run some clock and let's complete the. And as you can see, that little thing there means that they're running into the truck stop and they're not loading up. And as you can see, the materials dropped. So there's the trade port finished, and we have the ship coming in. Now, the way the ships work, they come about every 3 days. Um, and so what I figured out, okay, let's just go ahead and stop the clock for a moment, is that for the overseas, a ship has a capacity of 50. It comes approximately every 3 days. So I divide 50 by 3, come up with 16 and change. But what I do is I divide by 15. So whenever I look at something like overseas 400, I'm going to divide that by 15. And it'll take about 27 days to fulfill that contract. Okay, so this is the way that I can calculate what my overseas rate's going to be. So now let's let clock run. This is a case of delayed gratification. The trade port has been built, but, and here comes Ayaka telling us that we've got annual railroad earnings at 8 billion Japanese yen. And you can see now the trucks are loading up with stuff. Now at least things will start to even out a little bit on the material side here. So now what I discovered is that I have to wait until 9:30 the next day. 9:30 is like your research project is finished. And so here we go. Attracted a trade port to our town. Overseas resource production opportunities now available. Yada yada yada. Thank you, Ayaka. So we had Junji at first, and capital increased. And thanks for completing the trade port for our city. Here's a 1 billion Japanese yen reward that's non-taxable. And congratulations, our total assets have reached 90 billion Japanese yen. So now what I'm going to do, stop the clock. As you can see, my trucks are making a dry run and stuff. I don't worry about it. I could set the days a little different so that I run maybe 6 out of 7 days or something like that. But I don't worry about it. I'm making so much money. I don't care about the dry runs. Now, um, speaking of government policies, let's take a look at Monterey City. How about what if I did this guy right here? Land price subsidized by 75%. I mean, I could almost pay off my loan, but let's take advantage. So now what I have to do is build track somewhere in Monterey near train stations. Ooh, that's Monterey. That's Monterey. There's that Ord Village. So I tell you what, let's come back here and let's construct new. Love my apartment fours. Okay. So I'm going to build one right there. Whoops. Okay, so I'm going to build one. So that's 168 million in land price. Now I'll get 75% of that. Let's see, I'm real near here, so let's go ahead and let's build one there next to that one. And now we have this new Monterey Memorial. I think what I'm going to do is plop them in right there. And so that's going to be, or no, I tell you what, let's do it right there. Okay. And bang. So, let's see what kind of 756 million. Okay. Yep. So thank you. So slowly but surely, I'm building myself up. Now I'm going to be, my next step is running clock, and then I have to decide. I really want to set up the Oakland run. Okay, get the tourists coming in from Oakland, and I've got like 3 stations here that I can build up. Of course, that costs employees. Or I can now build the rails from Salinas to Seaside, Seaside to San Francisco. Uh, right now, I favor getting the tourist connection set up and getting some development going. Okay. Oh yeah, and all the excitement. I forgot to decide what I was going to do as far as the new plan goes. Operational efficiency, worthless. Okay, you can get a star and it'll reduce the number of employees you need. But the minute you have an excess of employees, the star goes away. So never use optimize operational efficiency. So and a little too early yet for the TV commercial. Okay. And it's too early for like the employee benefits and the company retreat. I got to wait until they're still doing fine on the employee satisfaction. So what I go for is the 20 days here. Um, um, Sales department expansion. Okay. And then I have that one finished. So I'll be back again when I've got more stuff built. Here it is, August 26th, and as you can see, Fort Lord Central has expanded. I have now added on the Oakland run. Okay, so there's the Oakland train. And also what I did was, let's come back here. Oh, whoopsie. So since Seaside had a subsidy payment for building two residential cities with the construction price, I think I showed you yes, I showed you the Monterey one. Okay. And so what I did since I decided to run the Seaside route, okay, I decided to build a building here in Castroville. And Castroville is right like on the ocean almost. And it is the artichoke capital of the world. It is famous for artichokes. Okay, a lot of it's usually foggy in the summer. And then I built another one here at Seaside Obama Way. And yes, there is an Obama Way in Seaside. And then Moss Landing. I thought I'd put Moss Landing over here since it's kind of near the industrial area, and Moss Landing in our area. Aside from fishing, a little bit of fishing, has that big PG&E power plant that used to be a oil plant, and there'd be oil tankers that would park off the coast and unload oil through a pipe to the plant right there across the highway from the ocean and stuff. And now it's like a battery plant. And I think I told you about how it had a fire a couple months ago, and oh, that really caused a ruckus. And it took a while to actually put out. So what I've done now is connected all of my tourist routes. Want to show you here the population has dropped down to about 439,000, almost 440,000. It looks like it's stabilizing about right now, 3.569 trillion on the economy level. Now, here's poor Reiko. She's just going crazy about so many tourists here and not having enough, I guess, transportation infrastructure. Okay. Where that shows red, I see green. Okay? We're going to have so many doggone tourists, it don't matter. You know? And let's see, what am I doing now? Seasonal tours. So I want to bring more tourists in. And also get the weekend traffic up. Still supplementing staff. I'm about 250 behind. And that was before I built these stations, so I know that I'm even farther behind. Okay, but this is one thing I wanted to get built up quick, so that I've got all of my off-map cities connected. Let's see. Let's look at. Oh, here's something interesting I forgot to talk about. You know, like here we have earnings before taxes of 48.3 billion. Okay. Now, if this was a correct balance sheet, the retained earnings would show the 48 billion number. But what they're doing is they're balancing some stuff to retained earnings that they shouldn't be balancing, which would be the one big thing is the depreciation. Right now, I've got about almost 5.6 billion in depreciation here. Okay, in a real good, GAAP set of books, generally accepted accounting principles, the 15,300,000,000 would be reduced by that 3,060,000,000. Okay, so it showed like about 12,240,000,000. and the buildings would be reduced in price. But somehow it looks like what it does it eventually, but it looks like first, instead of putting the credits over here on the balance sheet and reducing assets, it's sticking it into retained earnings and kind of fluffing up the retained earnings, and that does give you an advantage with the bank credit limit. Okay. So there is a little bit of kind of funny bookwork going on, and like I said, that 15 billion would drop to 12 billion the following year after the fiscal year ends. Oh yeah, so I've got all of that. Okay. I've got 1.6 billion in additional credit limit. So what I need to do now uh, is, yeah, I'm way behind on employees. So what I want to do now is focus on pay the loan down, pay it off, and then my next big build is going to be over here in Salinas, where I'm going to hook up Salinas, which has got a lot of population, and it runs around and then back up, and it plugs into um, the 5 platform. So that will complete the Oakland to Salinas um, big loop. Okay. Trains, I've now got 14. So as you see, I keep piling them on. I put this next to right underneath San Francisco. There will be a train line that will slide in between the San Francisco Oakland lines. And at least I haven't had to add trucks, but here's something trade. Okay. It looks like I'm not selling any marine products. Okay. Oakland, I can't sell any to Oakland. Right now, I'm shipping materials overseas. Okay. So I can't use the ship to ship marine products at the same time. I can only ship one way or the other. But that does not mean that I'm not selling fish and making a profit. Because now what's happened is I have Seaside Wholesale right over here. There's the wholesale market. So what I've done is I've got just a one truck stop, because I'm not putting trucks here. I am only using it as an endpoint. Okay, so I only need one lane, and then there's a marine a fish warehouse. I always hate that when it bounces around. So there's the fish house, and right here I can put in a small agriculture warehouse. When I decide to get to the point of building the rail for the lettuce run down here. But right now, what I want to do is I really want to get Salinas going. I want to take advantage of more of these government policies. In Salinas, I can build, where is it, right there, 3 buildings, construction price subsidized by 30%. And I just happen to have 3 big stations I want to place in there. So that's going to be my next plan. And then, yeah, I'm going to be hooking up the trade routes to San Francisco and stuff. But I'm kind of like working on population development, and also want to take advantage of these government policies before they go away. Plus, I can also do some rail subsidy and stuff for Salinas. So I'll be back when I reach my next decision point, which will be I'll have hooked up all of Salinas. It's September 27th, and as you can see, I've got a new train pulling into Fort Ord Central. I now have Salinas connected. Okay, so extended four-door to 5 spaces. Ran the train into Spreckles, through Alisal, Salinas Rodeo, Salinas Old Town, to the Northridge Mall, near where I live. So now I've bought 2 trains. So now, as you can see, I have 4 trains running from Oakland through Castroville, um, um, and then down to Fort Ord Central, then down to Spreckles and around Salinas and back up again. So it's kind of like a nice little circle here. So this line is now complete. And let's see, where am I at? Let's look at company info. Got 117 kilometers of track now. Still have the 19 automobiles. But I've got 16 trains. Okay. So I'm catching up on trains to buses and trucks very quickly here. Um, what I decided to do was take advantage of the Salinas subsidies for this one was for laying track, okay, ground level train. And so what I did is I did that little trick where I started at the border of Salinas, okay, and then just started, running track from one side of the road to the other side of the road, so that I picked up the money for the road crossings, okay, and then did that all the way up through Salinas, just just doing the road crossings before then going back and connecting all the in betweens, okay, and yeah, that really paid off. I didn't do that in the beta tests and stuff. I'm kind of now being a little more aggressive and playing to the video, I guess. So there's another 1.3 billion there, and then I decided to pick up the subsidy for the 3 residential buildings, and of course I built those in Northridge Mall. Oops, can't see it. It's way back there, Northridge Mall, by Old Town and Salinas Rodeo. Salinas Rodeo is one of the really big rodeos in on the U.S. circuit, but in Salinas it's pronounced rodeo, the Spanish pronunciation, instead of the more Americanized of rodeo. So once again, taking advantage of those nice government subsidies, so I'll pick up a nice tidy sum. Um, Population's at 442K, so it looks like I might be rebounding on my economy. And as you can see, now it looks like Stadium 3 is having some kind of travel problem. But that's okay, as long as they keep flowing in, that's good. That's good. Slowly but surely, I'm going to build up infrastructure and different train routes and stuff to be able to handle that. Uh, I did borrow $10 billion. I mean, I maxed out my credit limit to build the Salinas line, because I knew it was a pretty long line. But I have a bunch of money left over. So my new plan is going to be to come from the Monterey Presidio. I'm going to be going underground here to come up around the peninsula here, another station there, one there, and then to right here to what I will call Pebble Beach, okay, and another golf station, okay, right there's the city of Monterey. Okay, so what I'm looking at is the Monterey Rail subsidy, 2 kilometers or more. Land price subsidized 45%. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to be playing the, cross the streets, and you can see there's a lot here that I can cash in on. So what I'm going to do now is run some clock, raise a few $1 billion more. Um, just waiting for stuff to sell. I got new apartment floors under construction. So, just playing build and flip. And instead of of trying to slow down and not blow out my employees, yeah, just kind of like balls to the wall. Let's have some fun. So as soon as I get around to getting that next segment going, just run a little bit of clock here, and you can kind of watch a little bit of flow. So you can see you got passengers going straight to the Central. Sometimes they'll go from the Laker station. They'll be going both ways. So I'm going to be back in a little bit. You can see I got some coming in from the Laker train station right there, walking, and then I'll have the this Monterey line built. As you can see, I'm now in. I built another 2 segments. Um, Here I started at Monterey Presidio. I ran underground through here, and then it comes back up here. You see it went down there, and now it's coming up here around to University Monterey Bay, Lover's Point. And yes, there is a Lover's Point in Pacific Grove, which is right here. It runs on to Pebble Beach. So I built this segment and then realized, wow, I don't have much left just to build one more station here and then run it off the map to Los Gatos. And for the first time, I finally got this to lay flat. What I ended up doing was laying track from here to there. Somehow, when I tried to lay track coming around from here, I'd have to use like an incline to the right, build a elevated line to here, then drop it back down. But somehow I finally managed to get this so that it runs cheaply. Okay, so I basically added 2 7-length trains. As you can see, I just added the Pebble Beach to Los Gatos run. So now I'm up to 18 trains, and I have 19 buses and trucks. As you can see, things are starting to fill out. Getting some lines here. This one's already complete. And as you can see, like right here, this train's still running. And it's got a whole bunch of passengers. So what I wanted to do was take advantage of the subsidy here for building, 2 kilometers of ground level train line. And what I noticed was that, now I never did this in my beta test, but what I noticed was that if I look, I've got quite a few places where it's crossing streets, okay? And each time it crosses a street, that's land cost. And look at that right there, boom, 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 before it runs into Pebble Beach, and yes, that's Monterey. So after I got done building the Presidio to Pebble Beach run, I realized, man, I got enough money, and I can just go ahead and finish up the line to Carmel Plaza. But yeah, I just maxed out on the government subsidy. And as you can see, it's building up stuff now. Wow, I'm really glad that they built this building right here and not right there. Okay, because I want to run a track right through there. So it's nice to see that big building, and at least it won't be in the way because I'm going to extend out my station to 8 hexes, so the return track will just run right around that building. Whew. So it's not something that I'd have to buy to get rid of, and that's over 7 billion. So let's take a look at resources. I'm still selling locally. 5120. I got a good price. So I'm getting over 1 million a pop selling locally. I'm selling my materials overseas. Okay, and I just switched that trade opportunity up. And I don't have any fish I could sell, see, in Oakland. So right now in San Francisco, I'm just, I decided that I wanted to take advantage of the Monterey situation to get the subsidy. So now it's October 27th, so it took, I guess, about another month, and I'm pretty much at the limits. So I've got some. Oh yeah, and now I've got a couple of these guys here in Salinas, and not sure if I'm going to put these on sale or not. I'm kind of wondering if I should start reserving some for the following year, because now I have a new problem to deal with. And Makoto's all happy. Right now, I've got over 66 billion in net earnings, but look at the corporate tax bill. I'm already up to 26 billion. So now what I have to start thinking about for the next few months is just, first of all, pay off the 10 billion yen loan, okay? And free up free up credit and free up money, because I've got to now start thinking about saving up to pay that 26 billion yen loan. I do have some. I have been expanding my products. Now I have over 1 billion in products. So I've been investing money in products. If worse came to worse, I would be able to sell some stock to make some quick money, although that's not what I want to do. So I'm going to run for a little while longer, and then come back and then wrap this episode up. Here it is. It's 11 p.m. on March 31st of basically the end of the first fiscal year. So it's been about 5 months since I last checked in. And I've been busy in the past 5 months building up money instead of building up stuff. Although I did, on March 1st, I decided to see about building 3 commercial buildings in Fort Ord. Okay, as you can see, that's going to give me a subsidy of 1.744 billion. So let's come back over here. So what I did is I had 3 commercial buildings. The construction price was subsidized. How much? Oh, I forget, but the construction price was subsidized, okay? And so what I did is I built a department store 2, even though it takes 34 employees. I built an office building 3. That's that building in the middle that is 3 wide. and then I built a mid-rise building 3, another commercial office building. So even though it kind of added a bunch of employees, um, I decided that what I wanted to do is start trying to build on March 1st, because sometimes you can't always have enough building slots for buildings you want to build. So what I'll do is I'll stop if I want to build something. What I'll do is do a real quick, save and then test, and then I'll construct like a new housing complex one and test out to see if I can build some and how many. And that'll tell me if I can or can't build at that particular time. And then if I can't, I have to run clock until I can. So it's always good to kind of stop, save, and then test to see if something can be done before you actually try it for real. Okay. So what I did do, spending a lot of time with trade, I did one other little interesting thing, which was to build truck stop here, a 3 truck stop here. So since I couldn't sell agriculture to Oakland at the time, and I had a bunch that I could sell overseas, what I ended up doing was rerouting my trucks from over here in Salinas Lettuce to Seaside Lettuce. And this way what I'm doing is I've bring a product in to these 2 warehouses, and I can sell it internationally. I still haven't built the train station yet, but basically what I never did this in the betas, but this is just a poor man's way to move lettuce into Seaside and then redistribute it. And I could even sell it to the Seaside wholesale and just pop in a small ag warehouse over here, because I've already got the truck stop and stuff. But can only trade either fish or agriculture to the tune of 20 per day. So I usually do one or the other. Now, as you can see, I'm not doing much in the way of trade. I've got a bit of fish trade left with Oakland, although I got a bunch of fish trade open at overseas. So once that's tuned out, I'm going to have to either sell locally to the warehouse distribution thing. If the overseas, see, that's 4,750, 4,700. There's a 5,680. But I don't know if I could make that quantity in time. Not when I've got 19 more days left on this contract. So it looks like I'll just reroute fish to the local warehouse distribution. It's been bleak on the materials. There's nothing going for Long Beach and or Oakland. And right now I just don't want to build the railroad to San Francisco. Because what I have to do is save up money for paying taxes. So that's what I've been doing for 5 months, is really just saving money for taxes. I saved 5 of these apartment 4s from being sold. I'm saving them for future reference, which means as soon as it turns April 1st, these go back on sale again. I figured I don't want to sell them and pay tax on them right away. Right now, I can now put them back on sale, and the tax will be deferred for a year. And as soon as the department stores, these commercial buildings are built, they'll go on sale. So right now, I've got 431 employees. I need over 700, something like about 711, something like that. Um, so I'm just chugging away. Now the nice thing is that in about 2 weeks I'll get a new annual influx of employees. So then I'm going to pretty much catch up to where I should be as far as employee levels go. Um, Here I am at the bank. I've got 14.2 billion in loan limit. Okay, so I have paid off my loan. I still have my securities. I decided that I've got enough right now, so I wanted to hold off on buying. So it's kind of tough that really have to have the discipline to save up the money. Okay, because we've been very successful this year. Almost over 99 billion in net earnings before taxes. So we've got 38 billion in taxes. So that looks like about a 38% tax rate right there. Okay, so that's kind of a cool the way that works out. So it's about a little over 37.5% maybe tax rate. Okay, so let's see. I think I've covered everything that I want to cover. So let's go ahead and run some clock. And of course, Makoto is super, super, super happy. Okay. And now Ayaka is wondering if we're going to meet future goals. Now, let's take a look at the bank again. Now I've got almost 19 billion in loan limit, and you can see I've got a gold star for trust. So, doing a couple of loans, paying them back, and then, coming through this fiscal year without any loan helped raise my bank trust and loan limit. Okay, and now, as you can see, let's come back here and look at the balance sheet. So I've got 38, almost 39, 40, little over 40 billion that I'm going to have to pay in taxes, about 40.3, 40.4. Okay, and so in between the 22, and the 19 right there, I kind of have my my loan limit now. So I got my taxes paid, but I hate to have to borrow so much money. But it was this that was the way to do it to get going. But then now I can start selling some buildings. Okay, that'll bring me in 2.1 billion. That'll bring me in 2.1 billion. Oh yeah, that's in Monterey, Carmel, Monterey. This will bring me in 1.1 billion. Okay. And this will bring me in 1.5 billion. And 1.8 billion. So as you can see, once I start selling these apartment fours, I'll be bringing in some extra money. Won't have to borrow as much. But what I want to do is start filling in this four-doored area right here. This is going to be my next connection. Okay, and well, I might do Seaside. So I'm not too sure. Seaside, I already got the track built. That comes from up north. And, of course, then there's the two connections to Turlock here on the left and Bell over here on the right. So I'm going to want to, stop and think about what do I want to do for this year. But obviously I want to complete connections here with Four Door Central at least through the six platforms.